In a verse of the Quran, the fesundating characteristic of the winds and the formation of the rain as a result are mentioned. And we send the fesundating winds, then cause water to descend from the sky, therewith providing you with water in abundance. In this verse, it is pointed out that the first stage in the formation of rain is wind. Until the beginning of the 20th century, the only relationship between the wind and rain that was known was the wind of driving clouds. However, modern meteorological findings have demonstrated the fesundating role of winds in the formation of rain. This fesundating function of the wind works in the following way. On the surface of the ocean or the seas, countless air bubbles form because of the foaming action. The moment these bubbles burst, thousands of tiny particles with a diameter of 1/100th of a millimeter are thrown into the air. These particles, known as aerosols, mix with dust carried from land by winds and are carried to upper layers of the atmosphere. These particles, carried to higher altitudes by winds, come in contact with water vapor up there. Water vapor condenses around these particles and turns into water droplets. These water droplets first come together and form clouds, and then fall on the earth in the form of rain. As seen, winds fecundate the water vapor floating in the air with the particles it carried from the sea, and eventually help the formation of rain clouds. If winds did not possess this property, water droplets in the higher atmosphere would never form, and there would be no such thing as rain. The most important point here is that this critical role of the winds in the formation of rain was stated centuries ago in the verse of the Quran at a time when people knew almost very little about natural phenomena. Another fact given in the Quran about rain is that it is sent down on earth in due measure. This is mentioned in Surah Az-Zukhruf as follows. It is He who sends down water in due measure from the sky, by which we bring a dead land back to life. This is how you too will be raised from the dead. This measure in rain has again been discovered by modern research. It is estimated that in 1 second, approximately 16 million tons of water evaporate from the earth. This figure amounts to 513 trillion tons of water in 1 year. This number is equal to the amount of rain that falls on the earth in 1 year. This means that water continuously circulates in a balanced cycle, according to our measure. Life on Earth depends on this water cycle. Even if people had used all the technology in the world, they would not be able to produce this cycle artificially. Even a minor deviation in this amount would very soon give rise to a major ecological imbalance that would bring about the end of life on Earth. Yet, this never happens, and the rain keeps falling every year in exactly the same amount, just as is revealed in the Quran. One of the properties of seas that was very recently discovered is related in a verse of the Quran as follows. He has let loose the two seas converging together with a barrier between them. They do not break through. This property of the seas that converge together yet do not mingle with one another at all has been very recently discovered by oceanographers. Because of a physical force called the surface tension, the waters of neighboring seas do not mix. Caused by the difference in the density of the seas, surface tension prevents the seas from mingling with one another, just as if a thin wall was between them. The interesting side of it is that during a period when people had no knowledge of physics, surface tension, or oceanography, this was revealed in the Quran.